It's Thursday morning. Goodness me, this week has really gone by extremely fast. It was hectic, eh?
It was.
I these days, and don't tell me I'm getting old, feels you get Monday, then you get Thursday, then you get Sunday evening. And then it's Monday all over again. So, but this weekend, it's a long weekend.
Yes.
So Monday's a public holiday down in New Zealand for the guys that tuned in from South Africa.
Is it Labour weekend?
Labor weekend, they say, yeah. So everybody that's working is supposed to be at the beach fishing or something like that. So, yeah.
But they'll be working.
Yeah, there'll be people working, so no issues on that. We had a few interesting questions pop up and that we were asked, and we'll try to elaborate a bit on that. The past week, a few people asked me, I won't say weird questions, because everybody has a good question. One of the questions that popped up that somebody sent me, they asked me, could I drive with my New Zealand driver's license in South Africa?
Oh, okay.
And the answer is astounding yes. And we had a quick introduction. We did not travel long, and then we had that person under the tree standing upright, stopping us and asking for the license. I don't know if they realized what they were looking at, but they just looked at it and said, it's fine, you can go on. So, yeah.
And vice versa, you can drive with your South African
And you can drive your
license
South
in New
African
Zealand.
license in New Zealand. It's no needed for AA conversion. The person that does ask you for an AA conversion probably wants 100 rankies, a few bit of a bribe underneath the table. So, yeah.
But if you are planning to live here, if it's not just for visiting purposes,
Convert it.
then you convert it at the AA. It takes about 10 minutes, and they post your new license to you, which you will receive in about.
Plus, on that day, you do
4 or
get a
5 days.
temporary license.
Yeah, so it's easy.
On, yeah.
It's easy to do. But I think you're allowed to drive on your South African license for 2 years, is it?
No, for 1 year.
Is it 1 year?
1 year, yeah.
Okay.
Not your expired license, on your real license. So.
Yeah. And then there was a question this morning I saw on one of the groups. Someone said, can they fly back to South Africa with a passport that expired?
Many years ago, I used to work, or have been part of a unit that worked with immigration problems in South Africa. And that years there were less problems than these days. But one of the rules there was you were allowed, if you are a South African citizen, you are allowed to enter the country where you were born on your South African passport, even if it has expired.
But then you're not allowed to
There was
leave
no
it.
penalty for that. There was no hiccups, but you can't leave the country with an expired passport.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still like that. I don't know.
I can't see
know
why
that
not.
they-
I mean,
yes.
I can't see why not. The big thing is, if he needs to be repatriated, they are going to take you with or without a passport.
Yeah.
You can basically walk into South Africa with your ID from any neighboring country. Let's say your passport gets stolen in New Zealand. Let's go for the worst case. Right? If passport gets stolen in New Zealand, I got to get back to South Africa. You aren't going to be able to stay here for a year while you wait for your passport.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
you have to get back. So
that was the driver's license. Then there are quite a few questions. If you arrive at the airport now with all your luggage and stuff,
where?
in New Zealand,
Okay.
you now come from South Africa, and you at the airport in Auckland. What transport is available for you to get to your hotel?
And I want to say something about this. Normally, when South Africans arrive here, it's about 12 o'clock at night. So the buses that goes around the hotel or to the hotel stop at something like 11, and then they resume at 3:30. I know they start off at 3:30.
Yeah.
But they stop for a short period at night. So for about 2 or 3 hours, you won't have a bus going around to the hotels if you are booked into there. But there's taxis, eh?
Yeah. Yes.
And then presumably, I could be totally wrong here, so forgive me if I'm wrong. The car rental places, that's what somebody told me the other day, only opens at 7 o'clock at night.
At night?
No, sorry, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't rent a car because they
They
had to wait
for
until
them
7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So
but there
yeah,
is guys that
Uber
rents
can
out
work.
cars that will leave the car for you on the airport.
Yes, I've heard that.
Guys like Trevor.
Mm.
So if you really need a vehicle, go ask him or speak to me later if you really need one.
Mm. So when we came back from South Africa, we I know. When did we take the taxi? When was it that
Oh,
took the taxi?
when we went.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. We just took a taxi because
Yeah, we flew in from Tauranga to Auckland, arrived there, and then we wanted to go to our hotel, and the next bus is only an hour from there. So we just took a taxi. It cost us
Yeah, it's expensive.
$50, but the bus would have cost us about $40. That was the joke. The bus going to the bus from the airport is cheaper than the bus coming back to the airport. I don't know why. It's very, very weird.
But it's not expensive. It's like $5.
No. It's something like $15. The price has gone up quite a lot.
Okay.
I had to look at the interest and thought, not the big difference. The difference was $20 between the morning getting a taxi and waiting another hour for the bus.
Okay. So I didn't know that.
I knew you wouldn't be standing still in that hour, so I thought just save myself. The $20 wasn't that bad.
No.
So guys, if you got a question, pop it up for us. Let's see. There's no questions on the other channels as well. So
and then
everybody's content. That's a good thing.
As always, everyone's asking about the weather in New Zealand because it's always raining. That's what we hear.
You know what? It's going to be a good weekend.
It looks like it's going to be a good weekend. We get a lot of rain. We are in Tauranga, and when we came back from South Africa, we had a few days where it was not the weather. It wasn't raining.
I want to stop you here. I walked on my grass yesterday, and it's quite dry. I'm actually now again. I just planted grass before we left for South Africa, and I'm for the first time ever in New Zealand thinking of putting water on my grass.
Putting water.
Oh, what? Watering my grass. Yeah, it's putting a goeie water daar.
Yeah. Yeah.
My English is up. It's been a long week.
So it's not really summer yet, or not where we live anyway.
No, the mornings is 15, and then it goes up. Yesterday was 24. It was not too bad.
It's not too bad, but it's still a little bit chilly.
But we've got the South Island. That's our problem.
What are they
They've got snow there, and we get that damn wind coming all the way here, and so we get chilly in the evenings. So we should just change the wind direction or move the South Island to the other side of the pole.
Yeah.
That'll be better. Then Argentina can struggle with it. Cold winds.
We always say the weather in Tauranga is what it used to be in Cape Town about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Where you get your winter rains, and but the weather's.
But we still get our winter rains. We don't get the rain in summer. You got 3 very, very dry months.
The same as what
the same as
yeah, but it's really the weather's actually nice. It's actually nice. It's not too hot and it's not too cold.
And I know people they say, oh, they want this massive hot. We don't have the terrible hot weather, and I actually like it. It's not that hot weather that really hits you down to the ground like we had in South Africa.
We really struggled when we arrived in South Africa. It was so hot. And we're not used to that.
At the hottest, it was 32 degrees. And let me be quite frank, I felt totally drained. It was absolutely too hot. And I had my church closed because we were going to a wedding. And I was just sweating. My goodness, it was hectic. I can't think I've ever reached 32 in New Zealand in the past 5 years.
No.
Someone just asking, okay, this is an immigration question. So I really don't know if you need to notarize your documents. I don't know.
If Vanita's reading, maybe
Vanita,
she can
if you read that. Any feedback about going to South Africa from New Zealand? And is there something about SARS and a declaration you need to make? There is a declaration you need to make when you enter South Africa now, and as well when you leave it. It's a new thing. It has just come in the last week.
Oh. I know. I saw something.
I don't really know what the gist is behind that, but somewhere along the line, I think they want to check in. And this is only for South African citizens. So if you're on your New Zealand passport, you don't care about this. It's only for South African citizens. I think point one is trying to track who's left the country. Trying to see if they can squeeze somebody out of them. And that's the only reason that SARS does stuff like that.
Okay, so there is something, but we're not sure
there is something. I'm not really sure about what it is, but you need to complete it before entering the country and before leaving. So
maybe a travel agent will be able to help you with that.
That's a good question. Megan Henry, what is the December weather like in Tauranga? December is already heating up. At current stage, I'm talking today, the water temperature is about 14. December it will go up to about 18, so it's swimmable. December heats up to about a lovely 25. You must remember 25 in New Zealand and 25 in South Africa, although the temperatures exactly the same, two different things, totally different things. 25 in Tauranga is nice and it's hot, and it's summer, it's island thing. And December is basically the last month that we have, I want to say, crappy weather, if you have any.
Yeah,
you have an odd rainstorm or so.
Yes.
Then you got January, February, and March, and you got basically no rain. They even got a sprinkler ban on at that specific stage, but it's more to stop the Aucklanders from using all that water to wash their boats. So.
Yeah, but December you can swim. It's holiday weather. Definitely holiday weather.
You will get the odd day that it's a bit windy or have a bit of rain. We had a few good rainstorms over December, but it's normally in Tauranga. It normally rains at night. So that was the nice thing, that you wake up in the morning and it's really much better.
Yeah.
See, this question I haven't read. What are some nice areas to live in Wellington if you're working in city centre?
Maybe
the biggest concern in Wellington, point one, is getting to city central. I don't think there's a lot of places in city central itself to rent, but there's places like Upper Hutt, Lower Hutt. I know that's not too far. A lot of guys.
I'm not sure. Is there anyone in Wellington that can maybe?
But there's a lot of people that I know that takes the train into Wellington.
I know that the transport,
they live far out.
Public transport in Wellington, I know, is really good.
So this is another question on probably, I would reckon, coming from the same Megan, it's probably about Tauranga as well. What's the public transport like? We've got buses that run
all the time.
I know they've got a cut in buses. I think a 20% cut in buses that don't run now. But on average, you would have a bus stop somewhere near you. We do not have a train system except for the locks, the forestry train that comes into Tauranga. I think it's about 40 of them per day that comes into Tauranga. But there's Uber, there's Tauranga taxis, there's another taxi company here as well.
Yeah, but the public transport buses,
is very good. Yeah, so
all the time.
There is a water taxi now from, I think it's every Wednesday and every
from Omokoroa.
It's every Wednesday and every Saturday, something like that.
I'm not sure. It's a trial, so
it's a trial,
but I'm sure it will work. Because there's a lot of people that live in Omokoroa.
That's why she's asking. We're moving to Tauranga. So welcome to the nicest place on earth.
Ask all the questions you want.
Ask all the questions, and if I can't answer all your questions here, you're welcome to send me a private message or Mariska if you don't want to talk to me. So talk to her. And guys, if you arrive in Tauranga or wherever else in the country, somewhere along the line, there is a group that can support you and help you get on your feet and just get the mental state of you ready, so that you don't fall into the doldrums or go into a hectic depression like the women group you guys belong to. Sometimes it's just good to speak to somebody else on this. So
it's good to hear that you're not alone. Everyone's going through the same.
Whatever you're going through, everybody else is right on the island is going through the very same problems, and that's mostly problems in the head. So.
Yeah, and I always say it doesn't matter if you immigrated 20 years ago and if it was yesterday.
It is
still
the same
the
thing.
Same,
and
same story.
It happens with guys as well. So,
yes, I think the women just talks about it more easily.
So guys, if you feel unloved, reach out, speak to me. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So
did you feel unloved? Be careful now. Be careful now.
That was my thinking moment. No, in the beginning, my main concerns was, am I going to adapt to this country? I knew I cannot go back to South Africa. I knew I had to make it here. I just knew there was no turnaround for me. I could have gotten on the plane and gotten back. I'm not that type of person. If you know me, I'm not that type of person. So in the beginning, I just worried a lot. Am I going to earn enough? This 10 rand to $1 thing, geez, in my head, it played havoc with me. Especially, I can't, in the beginning, I mean, everybody converts everything in the beginning. You think, wow, so much. And it's not really that much because we're earning dollars. It's a different thing all about. So, but once you get over that, and it took me about 6 months, and I'm being quite honest here, it took me about 6 months to get over this, missing what I thought was great and moving into something better. And once I've reached that point, um, there's no going back for me.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it. Yeah, you
We should
see,
actually one day try and get dressed in the dark.
and, and see how we dress.
Now we often end up color coordinating. For what reason I don't
I
know.
think we're just in sync, eh?
In sync with what?
With each other.
Okay, you can explain to me later what that means. It could probably mean something good for me. So
That's what happens when you live together for too long, right?
yeah, that's a
Mm.
problem living together too long. Yes, man. And that's also another problem. I see quite a few South Africans are getting divorced now. It's making my heart sore.
Yeah, positive this morning.
I'm positive. I'm positive
Are you
about it.
positive about
So
it?
there's new guys and girls that you can meet in the island.
No.
Is that a positive spin on this? Okay, I can't get a positive spin on that. It's
No, the
just a
thing is
sad
just,
fact.
and I'm going to say it again, we've said it so
Yep.
many times before. If you're not on the same page with
They're
immigration,
not on the same boat.
don't do it.
But what I see, most of them are staying in New Zealand. It's a good thing.
Okay, that's
That's a good thing.
yeah.
I know one or two that had to go back or went back and so
Mm.
forth, but most of the ones that are getting divorced are staying in New Zealand. So,
And you know, in New Zealand, it's just if you want to, you can't get divorced for 2 years. So
Mm.
you can separate, but you can't get divorced for 2 years.
Yep.
So I think it's just
I think that's why the Kiwis don't
don't get married.
here. They just live together. They get a new boyfriend. Bye bye. There you go. Get my Holden. Packed up my slops
Yeah.
after the new one.
Yeah, immigration is not easy and it's really hard on your relationship. So it's very important that you are on the same page.
I'll go back to one question here. Person who asked, what are the nice areas to live in Wellington? If you are in Wellington and you're using the public transport, as I've heard from a few other people, Wellington's very windy and very wet. So keep in mind that will probably could be a bit of a problem for you because they say umbrellas, they don't last in Wellington. So once you open an umbrella in that wind, it's probably gone. So just keep that in mind if you have to travel a far away that you don't need to.
I'm sure they're
Actually,
not going to walk.
No, I was just thinking, I mean, you're coming from South Africa, you don't know what Wellington is all about. Now you think, okay, it's 500 meters from my house to the nearest bus stop or the train or whatever. I'll just walk that because that's not too far to walk.
Mm.
But if it's pouring down and the weather is like crazy, you're going to struggle to walk that 500 meters.
Mm.
Just keep that in mind. So, other questions? What else have you got there? Let me put something else out there as well. I see not a lot of people is asking questions this morning, but good high schools in Waikato. Sorry, I don't have kids. I don't have kids in. But most of the schools. Let's quickly recap the schools. I don't know if they still got the decile thing.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I know they were going to scrap it. I don't know if they have scrapped it, but you always have to look at the decile 8, 9, or 10. That's what people tell me. I don't know. I haven't got kids in school.
If there's someone in Waikato that can maybe.
Waikato is quite large, so you could.
Yeah. Is it Hamilton or where are you going?
It could all be way to Quiti.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, no, it's quite a way. So wherever that person is that wants a good high school in Waikato, I hope it's not for yourself. Drop the area you're going to, and we'll try and see if we can get somebody that can tell you about high schools there.
Yeah.
Waikato is also quite nice. It's a bit like.
Yeah.
A bit flatter area.
Yes, it's nice.
I can't say where.
Lots of lifestyle
properties.
It's really nice.
You've got the horses in Cambridge. You've got Hamilton, which is about a few years ago it was 400,000 people living in Hamilton. Quite a large central place, but it's not. It's not too far from the ocean
we
as
were
well.
looking at a house in. Was it in Hamilton? No, where did we look?
No, we looked in Cambridge.
Oh, was it Cambridge?
Yeah.
That's where they said the schools are so good. I don't know.
Yeah. But Cambridge is really, it's got this. If there's a town that I used to live in, or they could live in somewhere else in the Waikato, it would be Cambridge probably.
Cambridge is beautiful. Yeah. The nicest place in Wellington to live is
I got to put this up. The nicest place in Wellington to stay is Tauranga. I fully agree with you.
Look at Megan's question. Did you guys choose to move to Tauranga? And if so, why?
Can I say?
Yeah.
Okay. we came in 2016 on a look-see and decide and traveled the whole of New Zealand or the whole of the North Island and looked at every place. And it was middle of the winter. Arrived in Wellington. We had 2 days of raining. It rains in Wellington. It rains like this, not like this. And I just thought, geez, I can't stay here. Then we went to Napier. Napier looked better. Napier was a bit more Stellenbosch. I liked Auckland, but I was forced to stay out of Auckland due to our immigration rules at that specific time. We had extra points because we weren't in Auckland. And when I reached Tauranga, I thought, geez, I would like to see this place in summer because I think this is a wonderful place. I find other places to live as well. Napier would be good for me. Far north.
Okay, she asked, why did we choose Tauranga? So Tauranga, the beach is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a world-class beach.
It's like a holiday vibe. Tauranga, it's a big city, but the Mount area, it's a holiday vibe.
The second you drive into the Mount, and if your mindset is right, you'll think you're somewhere else in the world. Especially with the what's this big boats? The passenger boats coming back now. We had one, the cruise ships. We had one this weekend.
Yeah,
that's quite fun.
And also all the shops, you get all the shops in Tauranga, so you don't have to
drive anywhere
else. You can get everything in Tauranga.
And we've got South African shops. I think 3 of them here. We've got all the shops, not even concentrated on one area. We've got all the shops spread out all over Tauranga. So,
but I think our main attraction was the vibe that you get in Tauranga,
especially in summer.
Yes. Especially in the Mount area. It feels like you are a tourist in, I don't know where, but it's just the vibe is lovely.
I was just thinking of the way now before you said that. When the passenger boats come, now, the cruise ships, when the cruise ships come, they drop 5,000 people in a small area. Okay. Now, this is people from all over the world. So you can walk in the mountain, hear German, you hear Chinese, Koreans, Aussies, you name it, you hear all different people all around you. So suddenly you're taken away from the fact you're New Zealand, and suddenly you think you're in Germany because everybody's speaking German, and then you get a group that speaks something else.
Yeah.
It's just very, very weird.
So, and since we've been here from the start, so every time we drive somewhere and it's really beautiful, we say, it's really beautiful here. But Tauranga is still better.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yes.
I haven't found a place in New Zealand. Put down the papers. You're making a noise. I haven't found a place in New Zealand that I would openly say I will leave Tauranga and go there.
Yes, there are places that I will
also live.
Yes.
There's places that I will also live, but there's not one place that I think I will pack up my stuff today and go. So. Yeah. Auckland also isn't bad if you can live and work in the same suburb as. So if you work in the same suburb as where you live, that's basically all right. If you got to travel in Auckland, it's hectic. You could just be as well back in Johannesburg, or Cape Town, or Pretoria. So just hear less Afrikaans in the traffic. Yeah. So.
Tauranga is also big, but it's not that big.
No, it's not that big. Yeah, we do have roadworks on now. Our city centre is a bit crap currently, but. It's one of those things. You just get around it. Travel different times. So, okay, what's the time to go? I've got another 6 minutes.
Okay.
So this weekend, to the guys who know me and they know the group that I hang out with, Expedition Aotearoa, one of our guys, Jan Riley, has decided to stuff up a good long weekend and get married. Can you believe that? And he's getting married on a Sunday as well. So I don't know where his planning slipped up, but. That's that. So yeah, that's where we'll be on Sunday. We will be seeing how a guy gets to spend the rest of his life for the love of his life. So
I think the Mount will probably get really busy this weekend because it's really starting to get warmer now.
Yeah. And I think all the places around there, places like Sulphur Point, the fishing looks good this weekend. So the boats will be out and the moon is right. So the people will be running out for their boats. Boats will be launched in the Mount as well, so that'll be busy as well. And then the main problem with the Mount is, excuse me for this, they do not have enough parking.
I always say just use the public transport.
Yeah, if you go into the Mount, either you've got to walk very far, or use public transport. So we normally drive until we get a parking, but that could be another 30, 40 minutes. And sometimes I just say it's not worth it today. Just drive on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You have to be there early if you want
you have to be
parking
earlier.
spots.
So, but even early it's busy because all these girls with their, what do you call it, gym clothes, they go and climb the mount, and then they go have a coffee and a cake down at the bottom at Dixie
Yeah.
Brown's or one of those
Oh
places.
yeah. Someone else asked about doctors going to the doctor. Do you have to pay for it? Yes.
Astounding, yes.
You pay. Is it
It's
$47?
now 50. We pay now 50, but it differs
Did you
from doctor
pay
practice. Yeah.
Okay. Last time I went,
Mm.
it was 47.
And
But
prices
anyway,
up.
you pay for your consultation.
Yeah, but the price differs depending on where you are. I know Rotorua is, I think it's $18. It's actually, no, there's a reason why. I'll tell you later. I can't say
Okay.
that on camera.
For everyone.
I think it's for everybody. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's something like $18, but it's not in every practice. There's certain practices that's much cheaper than the rest. So, but you in Tauranga, I doubt if you get away from less than paying 45, 55 about that.
Yeah.
But whatever else is more, the government will contribute to that.
Yeah, and then you have to pay for your medication at the pharmacy. You pay $5 for every item on your script.
Yeah.
But then I think when you reach a certain,
it's about 3/4 of the year that
then
they don't
everything
charge
is
anything more. I don't know
for
why.
free. And there are some pharmacies that you can get your prescription for free.
Yeah. Nice one. Wendy Birka asking, any thoughts of New Plymouth? How's the vibe there and the weather?
I actually want to get someone from New Plymouth to talk about New Plymouth because there seems to be a lot of people going to New Plymouth now.
It is, and I haven't found New Plymouth a bad place.
What I found when we were there, and it was also a public holiday. It was a Sunday or something. It was
it was a Sunday.
It is really, it's so clean and it's so beautiful.
But it was so closed.
Yeah, but there's not. We asked the lady there because we went on one of those train drives, or we wanted to go, but we did actually.
No, that was the next little town.
Was it in New Plymouth? No, it was New Plymouth.
No.
And we asked, so what goes on in New Plymouth? And then she said nothing, because it's
Is it?
It was New Plymouth.
Yeah, could be.
Yes, it was definitely.
So, yeah.
But it is beautiful. It is really a beautiful city. It's quite big. It's not that small.
No, it's not New Plymouth. We stayed in New Plymouth in a caravan, and then we traveled down to Palmerston North.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. No, New Plymouth. Okay, I'm always confusing the two.
Yeah, but don't be this morning.
No, New Plymouth is really nice.
It's got the nicest mountain called Mount Egmont, and it's permanent. It's got a permanent snow cap. This is what's quite interesting about that. Yeah, it's got a permanent snow cap.
Yeah.
So
I know the people that live there says it's quite windy.
Yeah.
The times that we've been there, because we go there not permanently, a lot. We like camping there because they've got very nice bike tracks and everything as well. And we've never had really terrible weather there.
We had that one night.
It rained.
Yes, it rained. Goodness me.
Yeah.
But that's New Zealand. I mean, it's one of those things. And then Benita also saying congrats to Tian. So Tian, you've been truly congratulated. So
and the vibe in New Plymouth.
New Plymouth is a sleepy town. It actually is a sleepy town.
I was actually thinking of Palmerston North.
You were thinking of Palmerston North,
yeah.
But Plymouth has got its own. It's keeping up on its own. So they've got a few Safa shops, or a Safa shop that I know of, and the area around is quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's where you can arrive in New Zealand. Go there.
And Benita says there are now
universities or technical colleges. Okay, that's interesting.
So your kids will have to go somewhere else.
But the kids go all over.
They want to go anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if they're in Tauranga, they probably don't want to go to the local one. They go to Auckland, or they go to Dunedin of all places. So yeah. Okay, guys and girls, that's been us. 30 minutes has come and gone. So let's say thank you to everybody. To those who are in New Zealand, enjoy your Labour weekend.
Yes. Yeah. Have fun. There will be lots of specials in the shops again.
And those who fish this weekend, please post your photos. I'm dying to get out there, and hopefully we can get out this weekend and make the best of that.
We'll see.
All right. See
Enjoy
you.
your weekend.
Okay.
Bye.